Welcome to the third unit of Qualified Limited's short course on the fundamentals of quality management. In this unit, we are going to be looking at two further quality advocates, or gurus, who, along with W. Edwards Deming, shaped the development of modern quality management. Joseph Juran's work is complementary to Deming's in many respects, and although there was an element of rivalry between them during their lifetime, most experts today would agree that the work of both of these great men should now be studied jointly rather than separately. First, though, it is perhaps appropriate to look a moment at the man who inspired them both, but especially Deming, and that is Dr. Walter Shewhart. Shewhart is rarely considered alongside the other gurus of quality, yet without his work it is questionable whether either of the other two would have been able to make the enormous contributions that they did. Walter Shewhart was born in 1891, 9 years before Deming, and lived until 1967. He is often referred to as the father of statistical process control, this being the area in which he specialised and revolutionised thinking in the 1920s. Shewhart defined two aspects of quality: what the customer wants, which is subjective, and what the physical properties of a unit are, which is objective. When we study quality, particularly in relation to variation, we must remember that much of the original theory was in fact developed by Shewhart. Indeed, much of Deming's teaching was based upon it. Shewhart was renowned for being the first person to codify the difference between common cause variation, that is, variation that is inherently due to chance fluctuations in a process and nothing more, the thing for which people are often blamed in forced ranking and performance appraisal systems, and special cause variation, where some uncontrolled or assignable event has an impact on our process. Shewhart stated that a phenomenon will be said to be controlled when, through the use of past experience, we can predict, at least within limits, how the phenomenon may be expected to vary in the future. With this information, it follows that we should then be able to state, if only approximately, the probability that the observed phenomenon will fall within the given limits. Common or chance causes, then, relate to controlled variation that is present in a process due to the very nature of the process. Special or assignable causes relate to uncontrolled variation that derives from something that is not normally part of the process. Another thing for which Shewhart is remembered is for the statistical process control charts that he pioneered. These were originally called Shewhart charts, and he used them in order to determine if a process was out of control, that is to say, being affected by special causes. In addition to SPC charts, Shewhart is also credited with the development of the Plan, Do, Study, Act cycle, often referred to as the Deming cycle, which nowadays is universally applied in every aspect of quality management and throughout industry and education. We will now look at the contribution of our third quality advocate, and that is Joseph Moses Juran. Juran was born in a place called Brăila in Romania on Christmas Eve 1904. His father left Romania for the USA in 1909, and the family followed in 1912. He enrolled at the University of Minnesota in 1920 graduated in 1924 with a BSc in electrical engineering, and then worked, yes, at Western Electric. He worked in the inspection department at the famous Hawthorne Works, where various social experiments were conducted that we teach as part of our People in Quality CQI module. Here he was charged with the task of attempting to sell the Shewhart chart to inspection supervisors. This was not easy at the time, when shop foremen's top priorities were to meet schedules and maintain piecework earnings, much more than to improve quality. Juran is perhaps best remembered for his quality trilogy, and this consists of the three disciplines of quality planning, quality control, and quality improvement. The quality planning is defined as the process of understanding what the customer needs and designing all aspects of a system to meet those needs reliably. Quality control is applied to constantly monitor performance for compliance with the original design standards, such that if performance falls short of those standards, plans can be put in place to address the problem. Quality improvement in the trilogy is then achieved when breakthrough occurs and a new, previously unobtained level of performance is achieved. Quality planning can also be defined as the process of establishing quality objectives and developing the means or plans for meeting those objectives. To this end, Juran developed the Quality Planning Roadmap and the concept of self-control. Quality control can be defined as the regulatory process through which we measure actual performance, compare it with quality goals, and act upon the difference. For this, Juran developed what he called the feedback loop and the control pyramid. For quality improvement, that is to say, the attainment of a new level of performance that is superior to any other level, he distinguished between sporadic and chronic problems and proposed different methods for dealing with each. A major feature of Juran's work is the contrast between improvement and control. They are, in fact, both part of the same process, because once an improvement has been made, control then has to be applied so as to secure the gains that have been made. It is no good making an improvement and then being unable to hold the gains afterwards. A well-known quote by Joseph Juran is that quality does not happen by accident, it must be planned. To support this, he created a quality planning roadmap to assist in the planning process. This has got 9 stages that begin with customer identification, followed by determination of the needs of those customers. These needs then have to be translated into the company's own terminology so that they can be readily understood and built in to products and services. We then have to design and develop a product that meets, or if possible exceeds, those needs. There then follows a stage of optimization, in which product features are optimized so as to meet customer needs, but also our own practical and economic needs. Some sort of trade-off usually is needed, but we should never compromise customer needs where this can be avoided. We must distinguish between those aspects that are difficult or expensive and those that are merely inconvenient or awkward. We then have to develop a process that can produce the product. For this, we may need to measure the capability of a process in order to be able to optimize it. Once it has been optimized, we have to prove that the process can produce the product under operating conditions. Only then are we ready to transfer the process to full operation. For quality control, Juran uses a feedback loop, the nucleus of which is the control subject, that is to say, the thing that is being regulated. A goal or standard is established as the intended value of the control subject. Actual performance is then measured by means of a sensor. A collator, sometimes termed an umpire, compares the actual performance with the goal. Where there is a difference between the goal and the actual performance, more than a predetermined tolerance, a signal is sent to an actuator so as to restore equilibrium. Control subjects may be technological or they may be managerial. Managerial control subjects relate to performance goals for organizational units and managers and may extend to include non-technological goals such as customer relations, financial trends such as progress in reducing the cost of poor quality, and employee relations. The actuator will perform the action of actuating a change that will restore conformance with quality goals. It should be noted that the feedback loop is suited to the resolution of sporadic spikes, that is to say, temporary blips or disturbances during normal operations, but it is not suited to chronic quality problems for which quality improvement teams will be needed. Juran's published work includes notably the Quality Control Handbook, published in 1951 and still used, now in its 5th edition, by quality practitioners universally. It also includes Managerial Breakthrough, published in 1964, in which he presents his well-known universal sequence for breakthrough, and this provides a more detailed approach to quality improvement. If you would like more information, please contact us on 0161 236 2421 or email us at info@qualified.ltd.uk. Also, please remember to follow us on Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter and YouTube, where you will find more useful information free of charge.